What other sports did Byron Buxton play?
Football, baseball, basketball.
This is one that always gets me. You were only like the third fastest guy on your football team, right? Sixth. Think about that. On his high school football team, this guy was the sixth fastest guy.
We were in the spread in football, and our other 4 wide receivers was our 4x1 relay team track.
Would all 4 of you agree that you should play all the sports? Play a bunch of sports, play as long as you can, play as many as you can?
100%, yeah. But I started watching baseball more in college, and a guy I watched a lot was Buxton.
Oh, bro.
I
took care of you. When I came back, you were a baby to me.
Yeah, I was in college.
Oh, my God.
It's not like I was super young.
Well, if it helps you any better, I'm sitting next to mine. I watched Tory. So.
Oh, man, thank you, man. I take it back.
Like I said, I played shortstop growing up, but when Tory robbed that home run from Barry in that All-Star game, that got it for me. So, yeah, mine's Tory.
I'll buy you a steak after.
Yeah, that's pretty good. That's pretty good. All right.
Byron, are we going to see you in center field this year, or more DH and see DaShawn and Austin Martin out in center this year?
Oh, yeah, it's going to be a fun year. It's going to be a very fun year.
Does extra pressure come with being the first guy drafted? Kaelen, did you feel any?
A little bit. But for the most part, I just knew just to be myself. Don't change who you are, and, you're going to be fine.
Brooks?
I think if you let it, it will. We all play this game. We happen to be good at it because we worked hard. So we're in that position to get picked high, but it's well worth it, and it's a good spot to be in.
I think it is part of the game, but I think I can speak for all of us when we said you grow up with some pressure, playing from the time you're younger to now. I think you just learn to kind of play with it, You're used to it, so you just play with it and adapt.
Walker, what was the biggest adjustment, high school to professional baseball for you?
For me, I'd definitely say it's just the amount of games you play. You go from a high school season that's 26 baseball games to playing 140 a year. And just kind of developing a routine to be able to not only get better, but also to stay healthy and stay on the field. I think that's one thing people don't think about is it's a lot of games. You're going every day, and even before the game, what people don't see, you show up to the field at 12 o'clock and you're lifting, running, hitting, throwing, all of the above, and then playing a game on top of that. So it's finding a way to manage it all. So that's been the biggest adjustment for me.
You kind of had something to prove. You were under-recruited a little bit. You got to Kansas State, and you felt like you had to show people how good you could be throughout the course of your career. Is that fair?
Yeah, that's true. I just had to stay confident. Growing up, not a lot of people knew who I was, so I felt like I always had something to prove, and I feel like I did that, especially going to college and proving myself and just, I wouldn't say dominating, but playing at a
You can say dominate. You dominated.
Playing at a very elite level. Because of that, it got me to where I am now, and hopefully, one day I'll make it here at Target Field. So.
When I got drafted, it was like the biggest relief. The stress off my shoulders, that weight, and you're in a good position to get picked high, like we all were, but you just wanted to get it over with. I think that was the biggest feeling that I had was let's get this thing going, and I just couldn't wait for draft day because I just wanted to have that stress taken off.
Yeah, for me, it was all the unknown. These guys got to keep playing, and I'm still sitting on my couch watching college guys play, and I'm like, oh, gosh, how's this going to go? So it was super nice to get over and just get playing again. You get tired of watching people on TV, and you're like, I want to get back out there. So it's a big relief off your shoulders just to kind of go out there and compete, because that's what we like to do.
For me, I went to the draft. It was in Dallas, Fort Worth. That's, where I'm at right now. But it was amazing. I don't know why a lot of people don't go to the draft. It's a great experience, especially when you're going to be a day one guy and you have the opportunity. So, it was fun. But it was – my heart was beating so fast, like the night before, the day of, and right before I got picked. That feeling, I don't know how to describe it.
Yeah, I stayed at home. I remember falling asleep great that night, and then as soon as I woke up in the morning, I was just sweating. I was pretty nervous that day, but yeah, same thing. It was really enjoyable just to be there with my family, and then, you know, once I figured out where I was going, then we kind of had a little bit of a party to celebrate, and I think that was for me the best way to do it, because there's so many people that in my family live in San Luis Obispo, so I wanted to kind of share that with them.
Yeah, I was like a kid on Christmas morning. Came downstairs, Mom, Dad, it's the day. So, you know, for me, it was the same kind of thing. We kept it kind of low-key, just my family and close relatives at my house. But I was nervous. You know, I'm like, oh, my gosh. You know, I had no clue where I was going to go, how it was going to turn out. So I didn't go to the draft, thankfully. I would have been on, you know, sitting in my chair, just like rocking over here, like, what's going down? So, yeah, thankfully, they didn't have me on TV the whole time.
Walker, first of all, congratulations on being voted the number 3 prospect in baseball. What does that feel like to be just 19 years old and have such high expectations?
Man, it's a blessing for sure. You know, when you get to come out here, and I tell people this all the time, I get to play baseball every day. Like, how much better does it get than that? And it's like, if I can go and be the best player I can be and help the team win, and that's what I want to do. So, you know, the expectations, and I feel like people expect a lot out of me, but I appreciate it. That's where I want to be. I wouldn't want to be anywhere else, and hope I can, you know, exceed those things. So it's truly awesome, man.
So from a player development perspective, how has it been being a part of the Twins organization? Is there things that they do that are different or unique from your previous experiences with other organizations or teams?
Well, for me, I was in kind of a unique situation for that. The Twins did a really good job of including my dad, who is my swing coach, my overall baseball coach my whole life. So, like, I was lucky. We got to hit on the field with my dad in Wichita. Same thing in St. Paul. Like, and they get to learn the philosophy that I grew up around, so that when I do struggle, then they know how to fix those problems that I have in my swing. And I think that's something that's really unique to the Twins. And I don't know, like, when I was drafted by the Twins, it was the best thing for me because I knew I was going to a good organization that was really going to truly help me out any way that I could. And that's exactly what I got when, you know, I'm hitting on the field with my dad at 11 o'clock before a 7 o'clock game, and the 2 hitting coaches are there, and you have people shagging, and it just, you know, it really makes the development process a lot quicker, but, you know, the coaches also get to understand you as a player and as a person.
How would you describe yourself and what people can expect to see from you as a player, as a hitter and defensively?
I would describe myself as an all-around player. I'm a hard worker. Work ethic is my thing. When I met with the Twins before the draft, that was the biggest thing on me. They know how hard I work, and I like to prove that by showing it, you know, not just by saying it. But when I'm on the field, it's all gas, no brakes. I just like to be the best player I can be, like just be confident at the highest level and not think about anything but winning. I love to win, and you know, that's what I want to do here one day.
How did you choose your position?
For me, you know, growing up, I always wanted to play where the ball was hit the most, and you know, I played middle infield some growing up, and then played center field. Didn't have the best footwork up the middle, and I'd sling it over the fence. So they were like, let's put him in center, run around a little bit, and that was kind of how I chose it. And then I was like I said, I like the ball coming to me. I want to have action out there and be able to make plays. So that's kind of how I was like, all right, let's play center field.
Brooks, how'd you end up the middle?
My dad? Yeah. You know, it's funny, until I was like 14, I was just a little short, fat catcher. So I had good hands, but my dad always made sure that I practiced shortstop, second and third. So that's what I did. And then finally, when I hit my growth spurt, I started to turn into somewhat a good shortstop.
Somewhat. Kaelen?
Same, my dad. I mean, my family never played baseball, and the only thing they knew was that shortstop was the best position on the field. No offense, Walker. So I took a lot of my reps there, and I don't know, I got good at it, and I stuck with it.
Are there guys you're looking forward to working with that you haven't yet, or guys you've already had a chance to work with that have been big helps?
Brooks Lee, he's my idol.
I was about to say that, too.
I guess, yeah, you guys.
What a cop-out.
There's a lot of awesome people, man. You know, being me and Kaelen, we aren't in the big leagues yet. Being around a lot of the big league guys, like just their nature, how they go about things is really cool. I look forward to hopefully being in the outfield, Buxton, Wallner, whoever it may be, and just kind of learning from them and just understanding the game up here.
I was kind of the only guy from my class in high A and double A, and then once I got to triple A in the big leagues, and I saw Festa. I played with Travis Adams a little bit, who's also here. So, yeah, it's that's like my favorite part about baseball is obviously the game, but the teammates. It's so fun just to spend time with them on and off the field. And so when you're close to the guys, it makes it that much easier.
Kaelen, Walker, any chance you guys play together this year? Have you?
Yeah, we played together.
Yeah, last year, right?
Cedar Rapids.
I think we'll see a lot of each other. So
I think that's a good thing and a bad thing for opposing teams right there. All right.
Hey, which major league pitcher are you guys most excited to face?
I'll say Paul Skeens. In college, I faced him my sophomore year, so I kind of want to face him again now that he's all-star status. And I want to see what different he is. So.
How'd you do against him?
1 for 3. I got a knock. Yeah, that's Hall of Fame. You only need to hit 300. So hey.
I want to face Drew Thorpe again. Yep. That was special at bat, and I want to do it again. So.
And for those of you who don't know, you and Drew, essentially, he's like your brother, basically, right?
Yeah, college teammates, roommates, everything.
And the first time you faced him?
First time I faced him, ground ball to second. Second time, struck out in 3 pitches. Third at bat, homer.
How have your conversations with him been this offseason? Do they focus on the homer or do they focus on the 3-pitch strikeout?
It's like half and half because that's what he brings up, and then, and then it is what it is. He's also very competitive too, so. But he doesn't talk much. He's kind of a brick wall, so I have to get him out of it and instigate him a little bit.
Kind of a brick wall. Walker, anybody you'd love to dig in against?
I think DeGrom would be a fun one. He's the best when he's healthy, and I think that challenging aspect of it, of going up there and trying to compete, would be a lot of fun. It's awesome. Last year was my first spring training, and I was able to do that. So I faced some of the big league guys and AAA guys, some of the older guys, and kind of just seeing what the highest level is like. Obviously no one's in mid-season form yet, but you're like, all right, this guy is pitching against the best hitters in the world, and I get to go and step in off of him and see how you stack up. So it's a lot of fun. Like I said, it's challenging. You got to go and compete, but you learn from it. You always, whether I succeeded or failed, you learn something from it. So I think that's my favorite part about it is I think at the end of the day, it's going to make me better.
I want to put you guys in your fan shoes for a second. Kaelen, if you were attending Twinsfest today as a fan, who is the Twin you would most want to get an autograph or picture with or talk to?
Definitely Walker Jenkins.
Present company accepted.
I came here for one person only, Walker Jenkins. That's it.
All right, Brooks, you can't say Walker.
I was gonna, but I would probably have to do Cole Sands.
Cole Sands, all right. Walker? And if you say Kaelen, so help me.
I'm not. Thank you. A lot of different people I'd want to meet. Probably Carlos Correa. I mean, that'd be who I'd want to go see and pick his brain, just about hitting and everything.
Louie, let's talk about your season. I know you wanted to do better, probably, and I know you will this season. What kind of mindset did you have after last season and looking forward now to 2025?
Yeah, obviously the season wasn't ideal for me, but I learned a lot, and I'll say if any athlete struggles, the worst thing you can do is not learn from it. So I've learned a lot about myself, my teammates, my coaches, where to go forward, and all that, and we're confident as ever coming into this season. So.
Carlos, it's so wonderful to talk to you. What has this off-season been like for you? I know it was tough near the end of the season with the plantar fasciitis, going through all that. But now as you approach 2025, how are you doing?
Doing great. I focused the entire off-season on getting my feet right, and been working with this doctor down there and been focusing a lot on my treatment, but not only that, also strengthening those areas of my body that in the past I paid no attention because I never had problems with my feet before, right? But every injury teaches you something about your body, and then you start learning, and then you start improving, and this year I feel strong, I feel ready to go, and I feel like it's going to be a great year to be a Minnesota Twin. I wouldn't call myself the leader of the team. I just try to help as many people as possible, and then naturally people gravitate towards you, right? When they see that you have the best interests at heart to help them become better players, better people, better parents, better husbands, they gravitate, and we have great conversations in that clubhouse, not only about baseball, but about life in general. And I love and care for every single one of the guys there. I want their family to be taken care of in the future at the end of the day, and I think that they recognize that and they see that.
We've got some young talent that has an ascendant path in front of them.
Yeah, no, definitely the potential and the projections that we see with these guys, the way they've been working this offseason, it's going to be a great season for the Minnesota Twins. And we got so much talent, and these guys haven't even hit halfway of what they could become in the future, right? So I feel like the young guys are going to take a step forward this year. They're going to be so much better. Us veterans, we got to stay on the field, do a better job of taking care of ourselves, and just go out there and perform every single day for every one of you guys. And I think we're going to be in a great position come this year.
When you talk about a team with a healthy Correa and a healthy Buxton, watch out. And I think that a lot of us feel that way.
Yeah, no, definitely. It's gonna be fun to watch. Having me, Buck, and Royce in the lineup at the same time for the majority of the season is gonna be key for us this year. Like I said, the young guys stepping up and showing that different level that we're talking about is gonna be important for our team and for you guys. You guys are gonna watch a lot of fun baseball from us, and we're excited for that.
What are you working on? What's cooking this offseason? What are we going to see in your game?
So last year I improved a lot on, I had problems in 2023 with the slider. I improved a lot on that. Last year I was a really good hitter against sliders last year and sinkers, which was giving me a lot of problems in the past. And now, I've reassessed and looked at the pitches that gave me a little bit of trouble last year. Even though it was a good year offensively, you still want to get better, like you said. And, I've targeted those points. Our new hitting coach, Matt, he went down to Houston for 2-3 days, and we spent some time together. We broke everything down. We set a plan, and this year's going to be an even better one for you guys.
You talk about preparation. Are there certain things you do with your diet and how you eat? I think you are really pretty regimented with all of that.
Yeah. I eat a pretty strict diet. When friends come to the house and they see me only eating steaks and everybody's munching on their pizza and I'm just eating steaks and eggs and all that. But at the same time, like I said, I respect my job too much and I don't have too much time left in this sport and I want to finish strong and give it everything I got. So I do my best with the diet, with the way I sleep, the way I work. I try to take care of everything because at the end of the day, if something happens that I can't control, like an injury or something, at least I knew that I did my best to stay on the field and I was responsible and I respected my job.
Zebby, I was there at the Diamond Awards, minor league pitcher of the year for the Twins. What was that like for you to get that award, earn it, and know that you have the respect of somebody in this organization?
Yeah, it was really special, to get that recognition. It meant a lot, knowing the year that I had. The work doesn't stop now. There's plenty more to be done.
Zebby, it was an amazing year. You start in high A, you end up in the big leagues, and not just in the big leagues, but starting in really big games. After a year like that, as opposed to throwing more new stuff into your mix, is it just a matter of taking what got you here and fine-tuning it, becoming more consistent with it?
I think it's definitely a combination of both. You want to keep what you do well, you want to keep building on that, but you also want to keep improving. Keep trying new stuff to keep yourself getting better and keep hitters off balance.
To Chris's point, how did you handle that jump up in attention? All of a sudden, you're doing so well. You've risen, from the ranks, and people are looking at you saying, "Wow, this guy is really good."
Yeah, I don't know if I handled it too well, so I won't take all the credit there. But it was just just trying to be myself out here. Keep trying to pitch well out there, and then with the media, just do the best I can. I give a lot of credit to all the minor league coaches and coordinators, everybody down there. They do a tremendous job with us, helping us, developing us, kind of giving us new things to try. They don't force it on us. It's just like, hey, let's see if this works. It's a really good relationship with them. So a lot of credit to them, like Tommy, Nat, Jonas, everybody down there. They do a great job.
Who's the guy you look up to the most? Who's really helped you?
I think there's countless guys that we can look up to on this team. We have so many great leaders. They lead by example. They help on and off the field. But I know for me, like Bailey and Pablo, we're a big help. This year, trying to adjust to the big league hitters, adjust to the everyday, kind of grind up here. They were a super big help for me.
Jeremy Zoll, assistant general manager here.
No.
What did I?
General manager.
General manager. Okay.
Capital G,
I keep messing up your
capital
title.
M,
You have
general
been promoted, and I'm not giving you your due.
All
Sorry.
good. Thanks so much for having me on.
It's so
Appreciate
great, Jeremy.
Yeah.
So I want you to give me the anatomy of a deal, how this works behind the scenes. As you're working on a trade, I find it really fascinating how this goes, and you have been involved in some big ones with the Twins.
Yeah, for sure. It's the way we usually explain it. Trades sometimes could come together in a really short period of time, whether it's just a few days, or sometimes it's a labor of love and takes ultimately months to come together. And it starts with volleying an idea back and forth, trying to understand needs and fits and opportunities, and kind of all the while everyone's trying to understand alternative routes that they might be able to stack up different opportunities against. So. We're leveraging really good relationships that we have throughout the front office with other front offices, and trying to figure out, is this one we want to try to push forward on quickly? Is this one that's going to need some time? There's always an art of negotiating and taking different positions to try to get to a middle ground and overlap, but really fun process to get to work through, especially when it comes together like that.
Anything in the works right now leading into spring training?
It's been a busy off season, even though ultimately nothing is has come to full fruition yet in terms of the big moves maybe that people are thinking about, but there's constantly calls each and every day, and a lot of discussions in the office as we keep working through those things. So we're still working, and we'll keep doing our best here.
The perception is that we're not doing anything, we're not spending any money. The reality is we've got some good players. This team is not a rebuilding roster. This is a winning roster now, isn't it?
No doubt. I think, while we understand the reality of last year not ending the way that we wanted, as we look around the roster, the field, and the rotation, the bullpen, we didn't enter this offseason with 5-6 holes that we felt like we needed to fill between the versatility of our group and the star power that we see, up and down the lineup and on the pitching staff. That's given us the ability to be really patient, but also opportunistic to find the best ways to upgrade, since we didn't feel like we needed to just rush to fill spots to say we did. But you look up and down the lineup, and there's guys that we feel like are already impact players or have a real chance to take a huge step forward this year, and we're just excited about that.
How do you continue development at the major league level?
Yeah, it's a great question, something that I think within the last 5-ish years, the whole league has realized, as we try to move players faster through the system, they're not going to be finished products when they get to the major league. So, we need to be as integrated between our major league staff, our minor league staff, all of the programs and player plans up and down the organization to keep that going. But having a developmentally oriented coaching staff is really huge. We really feel good about our group that's heading into the year for 2025, and all the work that goes on behind the scenes from our front office crew to put those plans in place in conjunction with the staff and players is really setting us up for success in that regard.
A guy I want to talk about, and I don't believe he's here, Correa. I know you haven't made a lot of moves. You get him from the Dodgers, and here's a guy who was a top prospect across the league just a few years ago. He's had some injury issues, but this seems to me like a classic high upside, no downside type of transition. Is he a guy that might low-key impact this club?
Yeah, we were really excited with that opportunity to have that deal come together with the Dodgers and Diego. We have a number of folks in our front office that have some ties back to the Dodgers and knew Diego personally. Roman Barinas, Drew McPhail both had different experiences with Diego throughout his progression. And like you said, previous top prospect, has real power, has a nice arm behind the plate, and he's a well-rounded player. We just got to get him a little bit more consistent with the bat. Some of his mechanics got a little bit out of whack, but he'll be, for sure in St. Paul, partnering with Jair Camargo and taking it down, and we think he has some real upside to continue to tap into here.
Luke Keyshaw is here. We got a chance to see him in person. Emma's here, Emmanuel Rodriguez. Everyone saw the Adonis that is Walker Jenkins. Who are some of the other young players that might impact this roster eventually this summer?
We're really excited about a number of guys. Marco Rye will be in AAA to start the upcoming year, and he's had a really nice ascent. Still so young and so much development ahead of him. Andrew Morris had a breakout year last year. He'll be slated for St. Paul. Corey Lewis, another late-round pitching prospect. He'll be slated for St. Paul. CJ Culpepper probably be tracking for Wichita, but we're really proud of those arms and building on kind of some of those position players you're talking about there too. And think the summer will be really fun as some of those guys get to take that next step from St. Paul all the way over here.
Looking at our club right now, we have a pretty great collection, a well-rounded bunch. Pitching, a very good offense. It's really not that dissimilar to the club that we had 2 years ago when we went to the playoffs. And we had 4 really good months of baseball, 4.5 really good months of baseball last year from this club. They're capable of a lot, and I think they're going to be motivated showing up to spring training. Like, I think we all know when we deal with tough times and challenges in life, not just in baseball, we learn a lot. It makes you tougher. It allows you to do things maybe a little bit differently the next time around. And not just our young players, but really I think all of our players are going to take a lot out of the last 2 months of the season. The toughest part, for some of them, the toughest part of their entire careers in baseball were the last 2 months of last season. Now, when you step back and you say, okay, how was Correa's season? It was actually excellent. When you look at Buxton's season, it was actually excellent. When you look at Larnach and Wallner in the outfield, they did a phenomenal job. Willie Castro had a great year. There are a lot of guys you can look to. There are more, too, and the pitching, I could talk about them at some point. But you look at the seasons they had. These are good, very good in some cases, seasons that these guys had. So when you stack it all together and I look at it, I get excited. I was in Rhode Island most of the offseason preparing for everything to come. I could not be more excited to work with this group of players. And on top of that, we have leadership and character.
What is giving you some excitement heading into spring training?
Well, I think it's hard not to look at Buxton and Correa's off seasons and say they're coming in healthy. They're coming in a great spot and strong and ready to go. Sometimes you start spring training. We don't talk about it a lot, but sometimes you start spring training with a few guys behind, with a few guys a couple weeks, maybe a month behind. We don't really have that at this moment, knock on wood, and I think that's a great sign going into camp.
Could something still happen here? Are you hoping something still happens here in the remaining time?
Yeah. We work late.
Yeah.
We work late, and we have for the last 6 seasons since I've been here. We generally, I'm not sitting here making promises because no one knows what's going to come, but there are a lot of good players still out there, and we do a lot of our work late in January and early February most of the time, sometimes even going into camp. So I remain patient. It's part of the job description, but you always have to remain patient, I think, in our game and wait and see how things play out. But there's a reason why we haven't done a ton. When you look around the diamond, it's hard to add to our club, maybe first base. Second base, one of the young guys, they're going to have to grab that position and take hold of it. These are the things I'm looking for. Maybe a right-handed hitting outfielder of some kind that's capable of doing something. But we have some internal options that are pretty exciting, too. I think we probably got a little bit into an all-or-nothing approach up and down our lineup 1 through 9 last year. And it would lead to us scoring 8 or 10 runs and then 1 or 2 runs. And then 8 or 10 runs and 1 or 2 runs. And you're not going to win games if you score 1 or 2 runs. But if you can push 5 runs across, on average, every game, 5 runs, 5 runs, 5 runs, we have the pitching staff that are going to pitch us to a heck of a lot of wins if we're able to do that. So what is a well-rounded at-bat? It's making the pitcher work by making him come in the zone and then hitting line drives. Novel concept, craziness, hitting line drives. We're going to aim not to just put the ball in the seats, but to hit the ball hard on a line all over the field. It's something that I think it's not just here, it's throughout baseball. You're seeing a lot of strikeouts, walks, home runs, and that's what a lot of the games kind of look like and focus on. But when you do see the teams that are playing late into the year, they are actually making that pitcher's life miserable. They are making him, he might miss. They take those pitches that miss by a little bit. They make him come in the zone, and they hammer it. It's not as easy as I make it sound on this stage, but it can be done.
David Festa, everybody. Round of applause for David Festa. David, thanks so much for joining us. Big season last year. You were kind of thrust into it. What did you take from what you learned last year and I guess approaching this season? What are you thinking about heading into 2025 and what your role might be with this team?
First off, thank you for having me. I think the most important things that I learned outing by outing, I think if you look back, like my first 2 outings didn't go as well as I would have liked, but I really kind of learned that it comes down to a few big pitches per outing, and I failed to execute those pitches in my first couple outings. And I realized how small the margin of error is at this level and how good the hitters are. So I think, outing by outing, I started to adapt a little bit, and I made some strides that I liked, and I'm looking forward to next season.
Any specific thing, like one specific thing you've been working in the off season to try to get better at, or one specific pitch maybe you're working on?
Yeah, for me, I've been working on a sinker. I think it's something that's going to help me with right-handed hitters to kind of get something that's sort of coming in and kind of establish the inner half of the plate. I think that's something I didn't do a good job of. The slider and the changeup were fine, but I think the four-seamer to righties didn't grade out as well as I would have liked. So I think the sinker, allowing something to kind of work in on a right-hander, kind of set their sights a little differently, I think that'll help me a lot.
How about Joe Ryan, everybody? All right. The shoulder, tell me, where are we at with the rehab, with the workout? How are you feeling coming in?
Feeling really good. Feeling strong and, throwing bullpens, ready for camp. It feels like normal, so that's exciting. And, just ready to get down
They're
to Florida
clapping.
and get going. Yeah,
Your shoulder is the MVP of the preseason at this point right now.
So feeling good, and off-season training's been going great, so excited.
I read this article at MLB.com where the writers were making predictions for each team. And one of the predictions that was made for the Minnesota Twins was that this year you would get at least some votes for a Cy Young Award, which I think would be good. We would feel good about that. Do you feel like when you look at your progress, your growth over the years, does that sound crazy to you, or is that a goal where you think, like, I do believe I have that kind of stuff, that could be my season?
Yeah, it's awesome to have that kind of out in the ether, but definitely. I mean, if I'm stepping on the mound, I'm expecting to win every game, every pitch, and every at-bat, and then take that through a season. I think, I can compete with the best of them, so it doesn't, that's the goal every year, but just got to finish the year. That's the biggest thing. I think you finish the year last year, and it's probably that's already said and done, but just keep pushing, keep getting better, and I think just the consistency of work and finishing a season, so you have to do to get there. So, definitely a good goal.
It's a goal, Cy Young.
I mean, every year, but you got to think about one game, one pitch at a time too.
Here's where you pin a player down. You going to win a batting title. We heard about Luis Ariz. He's won 3 batting titles in a row. That was in his DNA. Okay, he puts it in his contract that if I win the batting title, I get an extra $100,000. So what you do is you ask the pitcher if you got something in your contract. Look at that smile. If you have something in your contract that would, give you a bonus if you're in the top tier 5, top 10 in voting for the Cy Young.
Too bad arbitration exists, so can't do that anymore.
So you can't do that?
No.
Not in arbitration?
I mean, you could customize it in some way, but probably not.
See
probably
the mind.
Yeah.
He's a good one.
He's thinking it. He's thought this through.
You can't think about the accolades too much either, too. I think that you do your best and whatever. I think the guy that comes to mind would be like Zach Wheeler, right? Like, he's been one of the best in the game, and he probably should have won it in 21 and probably could have won it last year, but the writers have other plans. So I have a plan, and I take guidance from other people and try to listen to veteran players and other players, that even the young guys too. Like, I'm trying to listen to everyone and see what they're doing, and just whatever is going to make me better. I think that's one thing that we have a unique system here and a setup with the pitchers we have. We all have a good rapport and good friends too, and so I think it makes it easier to push each other. And Griffin Jackson and I and Cole Sands are going to live together in spring, and Griffin always has some like little toys and like new things that he likes to bring into like the training regimen, and so he got a hyperbaric chamber for us this spring. So we're excited to try that out and hopefully oxygenate our blood and get ourselves nice and ready to go for season. So it's cool new modalities that just get an edge.
Joe, this happens to you all the time, but to watch people come up and bring a photo that was taken with you from 10 years ago. Someone said you signed their belly when she was pregnant.
Yep.
And that child is like up and walking around and a human now. I mean,
it's pretty wild, pretty wild. But I love Twinsfest. I mean, it's time of year when it's cold outside and you see so many Twins fans excited about the upcoming season. This is it energizes the players, it energizes all of us fans, and looking forward to some baseball. That's for sure. But
this is the first time you've been in front of this crowd as an official member of the Baseball Hall of Fame.
Yeah, thank you.
Do you get introduced everywhere as Hall of Famer now? Is that when you make a restaurant reservation?
It should, right?
Yeah,
no, it was pretty wild. I mean, we had a Hall of Fame session, autograph session earlier today. I'm looking, I'm like, am I in the right spot? You know, it's still kind of pinch yourself. Last year was unbelievable.
It the four of you?
So we had Rod Carew, Paul Mahler, Tony O,
Bert.
and Bert today, which was awesome. So
how about
that? You're the young buck,
and I'm the young buck. I'm the rookie again.
Wow.
But yeah, it was exciting a couple days ago for the new class coming in at 2025, and that'll be fun this summer to celebrate them. For me, going in on the first ballot, I really didn't know what to expect. You hear things and people think that it should happen and it should happen now. And like I said, I was grateful to be on the ballot. And then when the results came out, it was just unbelievable.
Joe, are you at a point now in your career, being retired for a couple of years, that you would ever think about coming down for 2 weeks, 3 weeks of spring training? I know you got a home down there, but would you ever put the uniform on and help the catchers and kind of float around like a lot of the guys do?
Yeah, it's funny you said that, Danny. I'm going to dip my toe in the water a little bit this year, the spring training. So
how about that?
Yeah,
so get down there. You'll see.
I'm excited. They asked me to come down for a couple days, and I'm looking forward to it. I don't know exactly what I'll be doing, but I'm excited to come down and be around the guys.
Wait a minute, we're not done, are we?
Well, we don't.
You've been in the news with Morneau and Hunter as potential owners.
Oh, that's right.
Have you not read that?
Well, that's news to me.
I read that.
Bull
Oh,
crap.
come on.
How many have heard that? Sure.
That's right.
Is that something that you would even think about if they came to a percentage or something?
Well, yeah. I mean, I think I've always have an interest in the Twins and how they're doing, and I would love an opportunity, but, that's news to me. So I hope.
Come on. Have you been approached?
Well, I've been approached by a lot of different groups that
you have to
think
sell
they might have a
Bauer
bid,
Chevrolet?
but nothing.
Would you have to sell?
I think
sell
we're
that?
way too early with that,
Okay.
but we'll see how it unfolds. But yes, I definitely, if the opportunity arises, I mean, I definitely have interest there. But I definitely have interest in what this team is doing, this organization is doing, moving into the future. So hopefully we can continue to get better and have a great 2025.
How's your off season been?
Oh, it's been great. Every time we kind of get a chance to unwind a little bit and we get that itch again to play baseball. You kind of get bored on the couch. You want to get back running again, moving around again. But then when it gets to Twinsfest and everybody gets to meet up together, it's that itch starts to get going again because right around the corner where it's baseball time.
Do you keep in touch with a lot of the players in the off season?
Yeah, we try to reach out.
Check in?
Yeah, we try to check in and check out.
Is there one particular couple pitchers or you run with the position players too?
Yeah, I run with everybody.
Yeah.
I think we got to check in with everybody.
Yeah.
It's one of those things where not just one department. It's
That's
just,
what makes him different. I'm telling you.
Not just one department. Reach out to Buck. Reach out to Correa. Reach out to Joe. Reach out to all these guys.
Is there one thing you worked on in the off season here that you want to try to incorporate or even improve more on in spring training? One aspect of it.
Just being more consistent, I would say. Long season for me last year. Most I've ever pitched. So
28 games, right?
Yeah, most I've ever pitched.
Yeah.
Most innings I ever pitched. So just the conditioning.
And that's
side
with the
of
big
it.
leagues and the minor leagues together.
Correct. Yeah, correct. So it's just the conditioning side of things. Just preparing myself for a 162 game season. So that's probably the best thing.
How you feeling about this season? We have about 30 seconds left. No one was happy with how things ended last year.
I don't think anybody was happy the way things ended last year. So it kind of left a bitter taste in our mouth. We all went back to the drawing board. We all went back and said, okay, we were all not happy with that. So I believe it set a fire underneath us. I think we're all young, we're all hungry, and we love to win baseball games. That's the name of our game. So we're trying to come win some baseball games.
You know the frustrating part was from our fans and it was a slow drip.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
you guys I think went 12 and 27. You guys had a 93% win probability in August, and all of a sudden, it was just drip, and just the team just fell apart, didn't play well, and you lost to some teams that weren't very good.
Yeah, that's always frustrating. You know, that's always frustrating, but we got to keep a positive mindset this year. And last year is already last year. You can't go back and change it.
Can't go back.
So
Can't go back.
You learn from it, we adapt, and we keep going.
How you feeling? Are you ready to go?
Oh, yeah, feeling good. I'm ready to get down to Florida and get things rolling, get down in some warm weather and face some of our hitters, and feeling good and just ready to get everything started.
What is the conditioning? What were you working on? Is there a pitch or something that you were really working on this year?
Yeah, just kind of, I feel like the biggest thing is just as the season goes on, you start to kind of fade mechanically and in the off season, you try to build that strength back so you last a lot longer through the season. So that's kind of where we're at this off season, is being able to withstand the workload of the season, the long 30 starts every single year. So just really just building up mechanics so they can withstand pitching into October.
Do you keep in touch with other players or Twins coaches, or how does that work?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I'm talking to a lot of our guys throughout the off season. Coaches will check in on me and see how I'm doing. Training staff will check in, see how I'm doing. But yeah, I'm talking to a lot of the guys throughout the entire off season.
Talk a little bit about controlling your emotions, because you're one of those guys, you know, mild-mannered up here. You get out on the mound, you seem to walk across that white line, and something clicks for you, and you become competitive and at times combative with some of the umpires, and it seems like you're trying to control those as to when I can maybe exaggerate or say a little bit more and maybe say a little bit less. Not as bad as Joe Ryan. Joe Ryan, and he'll do it after the first pitch of the game. He'll go, hey, where's that pitch? Yeah. Whereas you seem to certain situations, you kind of have to bite the bullet, but at the same time, you show some emotions out there.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, I feel like you said earlier, whenever I cross that line, it's a different atmosphere, different attitude that I bring out there. It's a boxing match. It's you versus the hitter, and you got to be the last one standing. So I feel like I try to take that mentality out there. And like you said with the umpires, I mean, I can get a little heated a little bit, but I try to keep it in. And if I'm going to do anything, you got to, like you said, pick your spots to try to do that. I think I learned that kind of early on in my rookie year. If I did something, some of the veteran guys or our pitching coaches would be like, hey, don't do that in the first or second inning. Wait until you're in the sixth or something like that to prove that you've been around and kind of were able to work around and pitch through those previous innings.
But also, you know, fourth, fifth, sixth inning, the game might be more on the line than it is first, second inning.
Yeah, for sure.
So if you're doing it in the first, second inning with nobody on, hey, you're wasting your time out there. Save it for the fifth, sixth with a guy in third base with two down. You're looking for that punch out. You don't get it.
Yeah, and there's a way to go about it too.
Yes.
You know, how you talk to them and what you actually say instead of just kind of being like, hey, where's that at?
And some of them has to do with the umpires.
Yeah,
because some umpires are, you know, you can talk to a little bit more
They'll
than
come,
others.
yeah, I mean, sometimes they can see that you're a little frustrated, and in between innings, they'll walk with you to the dugout and be like,
Yep.
hey, man, I might have missed that.
Yep.
You're still good. Just keep going. Something like that.
Do you want the robot umpire? No.
No. I mean, I'll be fine with the challenge if you have two challenges, but I don't want the
I like the
ABS
challenge.
full-time.
You got another 89-pitch complete game in you for this season?
I don't know. That was a pretty special game. I was talking to Pete Mackey the other day about that I gave up 2 home runs that game, and I still was able to throw a complete game under 90 pitches with 10 Ks. And it was like one of the first times that's ever happened and might never happen ever again, with 2 home runs given up.
The stat I have here is that it was only the second time since pitch counts were recorded in '88 that a pitcher had a 9-inning complete game, double-digit strikeouts, 90 pitches or less. Only happened twice.
And there you have it. You've made it to the end of this episode, and we really appreciate that. Hit the like button down below. Then take just 1 second of your time and make sure down below that you are subscribed to this channel. We ask that you do, because that guarantees that we definitely get to see you back here next time. Thanks for watching.